Hello, today is November 15th, 2024, and I'm in Watertown Square, right outside of Dyer's Discount Liquor Store. It used to be only one half of the size. Now it's taken over this size. This side used to be Barker's Spa. And over here we got the Fraternal Order of the Eagles, Cossett Airy, 1928. So this building here, I believe, is one of the holdouts of the Agenda 2030, Agenda 2020, right here. I think this is one of the fourth generation family buildings. Actually, I know it is. And it was bought in 1949. Right there. This used to be W House of Pizza. It's closed up for the first time. I'm not sure if this is under the same lease. Now, what I did was I found a website that will take it has a map, and you can click and find out the property owners of all these buildings. And I'll do a video on that soon. But I wanted to come down here and do this first. So this is pretty much the way I've seen it my whole life. The stores have come and gone, changed up. But now this one over here, this is owned by Demos. Right there, that's Demos. Established 1971. And so in 1971 I was 5 years old. So this has been here my whole life too. I looked up the building ownership on this one, and this one's been holding on to this building since 1979, I believe it was. Now I'm probably gonna take the website and do another video from my house when I get a chance to. But I'm just gonna go around this block and then go a little ways. This is the way I walk home with my pizza from W House. My mother used to send me down here to get the pizza. I think it was on Wednesdays. Once a week on Wednesdays, she'd give me the money for the pizza, and I'd walk down and carry the pizza home and have to be really careful not to get the cheese on the box and walk down this way. Now, I also lived in that house in the middle there, way in the back. I lived in that house a long time ago. I think that was from 1989 to 1992 or 3. I was in that house. I lived on Maud Terrace for my first 2 apartments, right there. Now the reason I wanted to do this video today is because when I was going to the Watertown hearings in the summer about changing the zoning laws and putting the 3,133 new buildings into this area. It's a small area. I'm gonna probably walk the whole way while I'm doing this video. And I'm walking slow and talking, so it's not like I'm running around. It's only a matter of a couple of blocks, and they're putting in, they've approved it. They didn't give a damn about what people were saying. They approved it without anything, and they're getting tons of grant money for it. Tons and tons of grant money for this. And we're getting all new everything in Watertown. They're gonna crowd people in down here like crazy. So I've also been doing a lot of research on the Maui fires and, you know, weather modification and that end of things. And it's very, very coincidental, let's say, that wherever there is a big disaster area is the same area that's been zoned for a new Build Back Better project. So yeah, I'm coming down Spring Street right now. This is behind the building I was just looking at. That's the back side of it. I mean, it's old and it's worn, and it's definitely probably seen better days. I remember when that building wasn't here. This building's looking pretty worn too, but it was Bergstrom's Auto Body before it was this big thing. They probably put that in when I was a teenager, I think. Maybe even early 20s, I'm not sure. But when I was a kid, I always cut through this parking lot to go down to Bacchus Spa, where I just started the video at. It was just a little candy store. My sister would send me down to buy cigarettes when I was like 5. Because she would get questioned at 15, but I wouldn't get questioned. Because I was too little, they just assumed that I would be buying them for my mother. But yeah, this is coming around the back of Dyer Liquors, what used to be Bacchus Spa. Mr. Barker owned it well, he owned the store. I guess he didn't own the building. But his daughter Carol lived right there in that apartment. I remember going up there to visit her when she was newlywed and had her little baby. She passed away. I think her husband might still be around. But yeah, I'd walk this way and I'd get a quarter for a pack of cigarettes and a quarter for a candy bar, or a dime for a candy bar. I can't remember. My sister would pay me she'd give me 50 cents to go down and I'd buy a candy bar, a big one, and a pack of cigarettes and bring them back to her. What's this? Interesting little thing. It says H2O. It must be Watertown. But yeah, here's the other view of Dyer Liquors. Now, when I started looking at this map a couple days ago, and I know I'm jumping around a little bit, I'm sorry. It all leads together. It will all lead together. But that's the building there. So I was going to these meetings in the summer, and they approved all of these changes to Watertown Square. And one of the biggest changes was the addition of all these new apartments. And while they were patting each other on the back, saying how lovely it would be to have all these new apartments here, one of the city council members said, kind of under her breath almost, that there were 2 families holding out that didn't want to sell. And she said 4th generation. So I'm convinced that this is the building that we're talking about after doing the research on who still owns things around here. And Demos. I think Demos might be the other one, even though it's not quite as far back. It's like 30 years less. But when I did research on these buildings over here, they all had recent purchases within the past, I want to say, there was a few that went back to like 2006, but the vast majority of purchases in these buildings here happened 21, 22, 23. And I will pull this up and show you when I get home and do a video on that too. But yeah, this is the meat spot. This has always been the meat spot right here since I was a kid. It's been the meat spot. It's been known as the meat spot. And right here next to it, when I was a kid, it was the green bag, so you could get all your groceries right here. You could get your vegetables here and your meats there. And right here, where this furniture store is, this is the location of the very, very, very first Star Market. And now you're gonna get me in the reflection. Who cares? I don't care. But yeah, this was the very, very first Star Market ever in the world. And it was right here. It was very small compared to what you see now, which is another rabbit hole to go down. The whole way they killed the food systems. Now this is Extapa. I like this place. It's It's a nice little restaurant to hang out in there sometimes. But I do promise this will all lead into one topic as I get there, but I want to do some of the history. Now, these buildings here, they've, like I said, they've had different stores come and go. I don't remember them all. This one here, actually, it's now the Boston Color Group. It was a tie store. One of these two windows, I forget which one. I think it was this one. But it was a tie store, like a gentleman's shop or something, and there was this one tie in the window when I was a kid that was like bright, flowery and colorful tie. And my father always said, "Oh, I love that tie." So I bought it for him. I saved up my money and bought it for him. I think he was being sarcastic though, and he had it hanging in his closet the rest of his life, so he got a big kick out of it. But yeah, these buildings are definitely showing signs of wear and tear. Absolutely. This was a short-lived record store most recently. Want to Hear It Records for lease if you want to rent it. Over here, there used to be a little religious store where the Jewelers is. The Jewelers been there forever now. It's been there since probably the 80s. Marcoux Jewelry, but it was like a little religious gift shop when I was a kid. I forget the name of it at the moment. Not important. Now this building here is one of the ones I thought would have been one of the holdouts, but it's actually not. It was purchased in recent years. And whoever, I'm trying to cross the street here. I don't want to get hit while I'm talking to you. But I had thought this one would be one of the buildings that would be on the holdout list, but it's not. So you can guarantee this one's gonna get knocked down and rebuilt soon. Across the way there, I do believe they're keeping that building for historical value. That building there. Over here they're doing restoration on the Watertown Savings Bank. Surely that's grant money too. There was a store in here that it used to be known as Larry's Leftovers. It was kind of a fun little store to go into when I was a kid. And on the corner here, it used to be Fox's Drugs. It was a little tiny drugstore, and it had a little soda fountain. You could sit at the bar and get a soda, an ice cream soda, and sit at, you know, a little bar. That's one thing I think is lacking, is non-alcoholic bars where people can sit and have a soda and talk to each other, or breakfast bars or whatever. But yeah, that used to be Fox's Drugs years ago. And over here, that used to be Woolworth's. And here's this nightmare. I covered this a few months ago. This nightmare of a Agenda 21 future. It's so creepy. It's so freaking creepy. It's the creepiest thing in the world. Look at this. All the people in their little boxes. And yeah, go back and look at that video. I don't even want to do this one. But if you look up the artist who did this, and it's linked in my other video on it. If you look Watertown mural, you'll find it pretty easily. But he's got all kinds of like animal sacrifice. What is this now? Oh, Jesus. China missile can reach USA, but it won't. What does that mean? Does this one say anything? No, these are just painted benches. Those are actually kind of cute. I don't know. But I don't think, that looks like graffiti. I don't know what it means though. China missile can reach USA, but it won't. Yeah, this little alleyway here, when it was still Woolworths, I remember eating a whole giant box of milk, what is it called? The malted milk balls. Another little bench there. Here's your creepy bird-headed woman-headed bird, whatever. All these creepy symbology here. I want to paint this over so bad. It's just so nasty. But it tells you exactly what they want to do right here. Exactly. Because we are completely been targeted and we're completely sold out. Yeah, I remember eating that box of malted milk balls and then never wanting to eat another malted milk ball for about 5 years after that. They made me so sick. Now I looked up over there, the gray building. That was rather recently purchased, but I think that was one of the like 20-year ago ones that the gray building over there got purchased. Now in the back here, this is CVS now. It used to be Woolworth. That's Bank of America. It used to be a furniture store, Gorin's. But they're owned by different people, and I don't remember exactly how recently they were both purchased, but I will go through all of that. But let's see, I'm 16 minutes in and I'm still rambling. So now I'm gonna jump again back to what I was saying about following my Maui fires and things like that. So in Maui, the day of the fire, the alarms never sounded. There was excessively high winds. There was no water available to fight the fire, and there was also like total weirdness about the whole thing, and I am convinced it was a hit. They were trying to get rid of the people who owned the land so they could take it. It was a total land grab. It was a total massacre. It was a massacre. And the same with North Carolina, Florida during Hurricane Helene. This is the gray building. Jessica's here. And here comes the winds again. But I started following a channel called Brush Junkie. Check her out. She's really good. She's been digging and putting a lot of dots together. So she has discovered that these high winds, these unusually high winds, happen right before fires. And she was talking about it on the channel. Now last Friday, when I was in Hingham, I did a video in the morning and it was pretty windy then, but the winds got worse and worse throughout the day. They were beating me up. And on Monday, they were bad again. No, not Monday, Tuesday. So Friday and Tuesday, the winds were really, really bad. Really, really crazy. And then I'm driving on the highway coming home, and I see a flashing sign on the highway saying, basically, be careful with wildfire. Now, I've lived in Massachusetts my whole life. There's never been any fires, like woods fires. We've never heard about wildfires in Massachusetts in my entire life. I heard about them in California, never Massachusetts. But this day of high winds, they had these warnings on the highway, you know, where you're only supposed to have traffic warnings, but it's like, be careful with fire, be careful with fire. And then I came home and I double checked, and sure enough, there was a fire in Andover, in North Andover, which is another community that's targeted for Agenda 21 and Smart Cities. And there was another one in the Lynn Woods, and that one's also targeted. And these places, and they were not even near each other. Like, these fires happened at the same exact time, but they were not even close to each other. And the reason why I want to tie this into this particular video is because I think that building with the 4th generation holdouts is going to be targeted at some point by these evil people. And I've been thinking this since I heard them say it, the way she said it at this meeting. Yeah, we'll find a way to pressure them. Like she said, I forget exactly how she said it. I could probably go back and listen to the whole meeting and hear it again. But she definitely said it in a way like we'll figure out a way to get them out of there. And I've actually just done another quick loop. I'm coming back around where Bergstrom's Auto Body used to be. This used to be the registry of motor vehicles here. And there's the church there. I used to climb that tree, that big one, pretty high up. A lot of the branches are missing now. But I remember being 10, 11, 12 years old at the top of that tree. Great view of Watertown from up there. But yeah, it's diabolical what they're doing. They're targeting these people who want to keep their property. And it's like they don't even care. They don't even care about human life anymore. Which is absolutely heartbreaking. It's just crazy. It's so evil. It's just so evil. And yeah, I'm back behind the building that I think will be targeted. Granted, it's an older building. It is. And it probably needs a lot of upgrades and a lot of renewals and what have you. But like the way that they're doing this, the way they're going about this, it's wrong. It's absolutely horrible. Now, I think I'm gonna walk just a little bit further, slightly out of the square. Not really, but I just want to I want to go down. Oh, see that church right there? That church there is probably going to be apartments too. But I looked at it and it's still listed as a church for the time being. Oops. Now we've got some giggling teenagers, which is good to remind me that people are still human. But let them pass to turn around for a minute, get a little of the sunshine. But yeah, I think that there's deliberate fires going on here in Massachusetts right now as we speak. The extraordinarily high winds on the same day with the fire warnings and the brush fires suddenly starting are all very suspicious to me. So now this is the corner of Spring Street and Summer Street in Watertown, Massachusetts. And I am approximately half a block from where I spent the first 25 years of my life. I had a friend who lived in this, actually a couple of friends. My brother was best friends with one of the kids in this, older than me, obviously. And the kid I went to high school with was his nephew, and he passed away. His name was Paul. But yeah, I don't know how far back that they're gonna go with these houses here. I think they might have extended this zoning a little bit back here. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to cover real quick too. But I'm right at the high school time, so I'm getting kids coming up on me right now. Let them pass too. But so now I lost track with those kids walking by. So right here, if you look up this way and see the white fence in the back with the bluish house in the way back, that's the house I grew up in right there. And I also looked up the price of that house. It's Now currently valued at about a little under $800,000. And I looked up the owner, and she's a lawyer. She and her husband, I found her easier than I found her husband, but she's a lawyer, an immigration lawyer, who's also on the Watertown Board of Trustees. So she actually sounds like a deep state troll to me. Now this is, if you look right over here, I lived in that house right there. Pardon me. Right in the middle there. That was my first apartment on Maud Terrace. And this neighborhood right here is virtually unchanged. But I did come across a picture, I think right here, this building, or it might have been this one. It looked like it was in the same neighborhood that I was living in, and that one of these buildings burnt down. It was before I was born. But then right here, that little house right there, I lived in that one, my second apartment. So yeah, this is, I know this area, and I know it very, very well. There's my house again. And this house here on the corner, I remember the house before, it was a old couple. They had a big, big yard. The house was much smaller, and it went up in flames in 1983. Big, big fire happened right there. I remember watching it from my house. I think I sat on the wall. That white fence wasn't there yet. You could climb out onto that wall pretty easily. There was a chain link. And we watched that house go down in flames. That house there too, that blue one in the back. That one was torn down. It didn't burn down. But I'm gonna start walking back towards the car, I think. So yeah, you can see my other house right there. Pardon the wind. It is still pretty windy. It's not like it was earlier this week though. It was brutal. The winds were like completely brutal. I felt like I was getting beat up. And I just find it very suspicious that those fires were at the same time. I don't think they were nearly as big as, definitely not nearly as big as Maui. And I don't think there's been any life lost. But let me see, can I still cut through this way? I can, look at that. They never blocked this off. This is cool. I used to walk this way with baby carriage because this is where I had my daycare. Home sweet home. There was an old woman that lived in that house named Mary Ryan. She was like 100 years old and healthy as a horse. Right up to the end. They don't make people like that anymore. We're all sick and dying when we're 40 or 30 or 20. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that was Mary Ryan's house. That's the house I had my family daycare in. Right there. And Kunda Wall House. I wonder what that means. That's where I first opened my family daycare. That one, white one with the red shutters. And that's the one I moved it to. I literally just moved directly across the street with the kids in the yard as I carried furniture across by myself. Oh, crazy. A different lifetime ago now. But some of the best memories I ever had. But I just think that there's so much diabolical evilness going on, and I'm really hoping that this new administration is going to change things, because things are happening very quickly all of a sudden in the other direction. RFK just got nominated for Director of Health and Human Services. Thank God. You have no idea how important that is. It's like incredible that this is happening. And let me cross over while there's no cars. But yeah, I used to walk this way with the baby carriage to go to Dunkin' Donuts. Anyways, yeah, there's a whole lot of like important things that seem to be happening after losing so much for the past however many years it's been, at least 5, taking loss after loss after loss. It's a good thing to start seeing some things turning in the other direction. So who knows, maybe things will happen differently. Maybe these people will do their own renovations and fix up these buildings and, you know, have the money to do that without losing their property, without having it taken away. I would love to see that. And another shout out to Demos. I'm coming around the corner up to Demos right now, as I pass clearly a brainwashed person. But yeah, I'm almost back to where I started. But shout out to Demos, because this was the only place I could have a mask-free lunch. So I was meeting some friends here for lunch. Demos, Main Street, 64 Main Street, Watertown. 64, I guess. 62 is upstairs. But yeah, big shout out to Demos Restaurant. Good food, good people, no masks. I don't know if you saw that one walking across the street, but she looked healthy as a horse, didn't she? With her freaking mask and bald head. Oh my God. Anyways, I'm back to the building. I'll do a follow-up video with going through the map and showing you what I found for the ownerships. So, love you all. Take care. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Oh yeah, and that building right there just got sold recently too. But, all right, I'll catch you later. Bye.